Yo, 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 what's up, internet? How we doing? Welcome to the KillJoy Jake YouTube channel. If this is your first time stopping by, just know that it's time to talk horror. That's what we do on this page. And sometimes we have specific topics, but tonight it is all about pure chaos. So whatever kind of horror update, horror topic you want to get into, throw it at us, and then we'll get right on into it. We have a lot to talk about. Let me tell you, it has been a busy news day. I don't even know where to start. So first of all, Final Destination Bloodlines, a brand new trailer comes out tomorrow for it. Your boy will be covering it, of course. This is very exciting stuff. I cannot wait to see what that's all about. We also have The Strangers Chapter 2 as a brand new release date. Finally got an update on that one. I know a lot of people have been asking about it. Personally, I have no interest. I think that Chapter 1 was an abysmal mess, and it sounds like Chapter 2 is probably going to be the same. Lots of reshoots were done for this one. It was actually supposed to come out in fall of last year. Now it's coming out in fall of this year. It releases 2 days after my birthday on September 26th. It also seems as if Saw 11 is still in the works. Maybe, I don't know. Billy the Puppet has announced that, hey, we're still doing this. We're still making it happen at some point. It's very unclear what is going on with the Saw franchise as of right now, so there might still be hope for an 11th Saw film, which I guess is exciting. And what else is going on? So much is going on. Dear God, we had a little bit of a Terrifier 4 update, I guess, this past weekend, in terms of Damien Leone talking, kind of teasing at Jonathan's return to the franchise, perchance. So there was that. I might make a video on it sometime this week. But anyways, lots to talk about in terms of pretty much every big horror franchise continuation, a bunch of new movies, trailers. Clown in a Cornfield got a new trailer today as well. There's so much to talk about. It's truly hard to keep it all fresh in the brain, but please ask away. Let's get into all of this exciting stuff as to what is actually going on in the world of horror. We got, who's hanging out with us? Antonis is saying, one of our channel members, and Erica is here too. Hello. Antonis is saying, hey, Jake, what's up, bro? I've never seen so much horror news in a day. Friday the 13th news. Yes, Linda Cardellini. They've kind of talked a little more about what's going on with the Pamela Voorhees TV series from A24. Yeah, Clown in the Cornfield trailer, The Strangers Chapter 2 release date, Final Destination 6 trailer tomorrow, first official look at Tony Todd in Final Destination 6. Yes, that is also going on, which is exciting. We got our first look at that. If you see my new Final Destination video I put out today, I actually talked a little bit about the picture. It's cool to see him. You know what I mean? Rest in peace. It is nice to see a little confirmation here that yes, our boy is back, which makes me happy. So I rest in peace, Tony Todd. I'm glad that we're going to see Bloodworth at least one more time in this franchise for likely his final film performance. So very sad stuff here, but it's also weirdly like happy too. It's like, we got another Tony Todd performance that we have not seen yet. That's exciting. So it's bittersweet is what it is what that announcement is to me. But I can't wait to see it. I cannot wait to see what his final performance is all about here. Anakin's anger management therapist is saying, yo, Jake, I just bought the entire Harry Potter franchise on Blu-ray and gonna watch it for the first time. Can't wait to see Mommy Bellatrix and bald no-nose bitch Voldemort. I feel like you already know a lot of what's going on in this franchise then, if those are your thoughts. Those movies are fun, man. I enjoy them. They're a big part of my childhood. Those first two, at least. We watched those a ton when I was younger. So I fondly remember those. I'll tell you what. Gory Tiger is with us saying, what's up? How's it going? Welcome in. Lighting Ghost is with us saying, finally got that release date of Chapter 2, but unfortunately, I will be busy with stuff. I'll be doing anything else when that movie comes out. No, I'm probably still going to cover it. I mean, it's from one of my favorite modern slasher franchises. I just have no faith after seeing what the same creatives did with their Chapter 1. That was possibly the worst horror movie I saw in that year, which that was last year, right? Well, I've forgotten almost everything about that movie. That's one of the most forgettable horror movies I think I've ever covered on this channel. Paula Fitzhenry is saying hi. Hello, Paula. Welcome in. Loud World 97. Thank you for being a member. Appreciate you. Tori Mayers. Yo. What's up? How's it going? Who have I not said hello to? Madison and Perry are both hanging out. Hello. Beer Belly Angler is saying, I'm hearing they are going to move the release date for Scream 7 because Cat in the Hat movie is coming out the same day. Have you heard anything? We have people speculating this. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. The Cat in the Hat? What? Here's what's odd about this to me. Here's what makes zero sense about this release date change to me. We literally just had Terrifier 3 benefit because it was released at the same time as a children's movie. Now, here's what happened with this. Children could not get into Terrifier 3. I feel like I don't have to explain why that is. If you guys saw Terrifier 3, you might understand why that could be the case. I don't understand why they would want to change this. If I'm Scream 7, I say, yes, keep the release date. And Cat in the Hat, please release the same weekend as us, because then kids can buy tickets for Cat in the Hat, sneak into Scream 7. And here's the thing, you might lose a little bit of money on some ticket sales, but realistically, that is going to garner some really good press, like it did for Terrifier 3, which just came out last fall, man. I don't understand why you would want to that makes zero sense to me. I strongly disagree with that. If that's what what Scream 7 wants to do, I mean, I'll take an earlier release date. That's exciting. But that good press, Scream 7 needs that bad, dude. I would not change that release date if I were them. I feel like that is a huge mistake to do something like that. That's a hill I'm going to die on. It does not make sense to change the release date. The people going to Cat in the Hat and Scream 7 are completely different audiences too. Like, you're not going to lose any money releasing it the same weekend as a very popular children's film. I don't know. It makes zero sense to me why that is even a thing right now. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Completely lost there. Who else is with us? Fort Misery Gaming is saying, did you see the HHN info rumors I sent you? No, I'm going to have to look into that. Dude, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to HHN this year. I'm seeing all the news for that and just being like, that's so wonderful. That's so great. I'm glad that all of you are going to enjoy that. I just don't think I can make it. HHN is crazy expensive. So worth it, though. Maybe if Universal sends me there, though. I'm just saying, if any Universal people are hanging out in the chat, maybe, you never know. You never know who's watching. That would be sick. Perry is saying, can't stay long at all. Going to see the movie Ash tonight. Nice. Hope it's worth it. Perry, I bow down to you, my friend. Thank you for seeing original horror in the theaters. That is a banger, and I just put out a special Patreon and channel members exclusive video for it. So if you're an Art the Clown tier patron, go check out the review. It's probably my favorite horror film of the year so far. I very much so enjoyed it. Misty Womack is saying hello. Thank you for being a member, Misty. Appreciate you. What's up? Erica's reminding us that we have a goal tonight. We only need 10 of the light blue super chats tonight. That's nothing. That's nothing compared to what the things have been in the past. I want to get rid of these smile things because I want to give them to you guys so bad. And also, if I get 10 of those little $2 super chats, it's nothing. It's not little tiny things. We'll go for another hour. Some of you are going to walk away with the entire Smile franchise tonight if we meet our goal, and we'll go for another hour. So you guys have like 52 minutes, I think, to meet that goal. Will we get it? I think so. I have faith. I want to give these things away. If not, they're going to my members on Wednesday. But let's make this thing happen. Let's do it. I want someone to walk away with these digital codes, man. I'm not going to use them. I have no interest. I like the physical media on my back wall, but some people like the digital codes. So someone could get the Smile franchise, the whole franchise tonight. It could happen. So let's make it happen. Anyways, Joe Bet Gret, also a member, saying hi. Hello. What's up? Pirated Copy is saying, hi, Jake. Have you seen the movie The Last Stop in Yuma County? Dude, that has been on my watch list since it came out last year. The director of this film was pegged. I hate saying that because it sounds like I'm saying something else. He was pegged to do the next Evil Dead, one of the next Evil Deads. We have 2 Evil Deads in the works right now. Isn't that crazy? The guy that did Infested last year is doing an Evil Dead, and the guy that did that movie is doing another Evil Dead after that. The Evil Dead flicks do not stop. I'm here for it. So I definitely need to see this one. I want to see what it's all about, to see what his style is, what flavor he's bringing to the Evil Dead franchise, which is, in my opinion, the most exciting horror franchise out there right now because of how we throw different directors, different creatives at it. You never know what you're going to get with a new Evil Dead. That has me the most excited out of anything in horror right now, without a doubt. So Evil Dead Burn, easily my most anticipated franchise continuation at the moment. I cannot wait to see what that one's all about. We need some more updates on that one, for sure. Rest in peace, Tony, says Lighting Ghost. I love that. Anthony J is saying, what are you most excited about with upcoming projects and movies? From this year, probably Probably 28 Years Later is one that I'm the most excited for. 28 Years Later, it looks great. It has easily one of the best trailers I've ever covered on this page. Very strong things going on with that project, I believe. It has literally the original creatives behind the first movie, which I think is slightly superior to the sequel, even though they're both like neck and neck very good. I love both of them. But that original 28 Days, I just think is a little better. So I'm very excited for that. Cannot wait to see what this movie is all about. I'm excited for Scream 7, but I am worried about it. You know what I mean? It's one of those projects that had just a ton of production issues, but it sounded like they got their footing, got it all figured out. But, you know, will that ultimately harm the project? We'll still have to see. Maybe in September of this year, or maybe in February of next year. We'll just have to see. Ben Lippens? What's up, Ben? How's it going? What are your thoughts on Final Destination Bloodlines tease to the trailer tomorrow? Glass in the drink. New anxiety unlocked. I'm going to be checking the ice in my glass now to make sure that it's not broken glass. Dear God. I loved it. That is exactly what I'm looking for from a new Final Destination. Again, no notes on the marketing for this film so far. I might eat those words tomorrow, and if we get a trailer that just spells out literally everything that's going to happen in the film, which I am very worried that's what we're going to get tomorrow morning, but I don't think so. I'm staying optimistic with Final Destination Bloodlines. I'm so excited for this film. Everything I've seen so far has just told me this is going to be a banger. So let's hope that the film can reflect that. I loved that new teaser today. Again, something I talked about and kind of put in my new video just from this afternoon. Is there going to be a Dracula movie with Jenna Ortega? There's so many Jenna Ortega projects in the works. Maybe. I feel like I can't even keep track of all of them. We have the new Weekend movie that's coming out the same weekend as Final Destination Bloodlines. That was a lot of weekends. But to be more specific there, Abel Tesfaye, who is, of course, The Weeknd, who sings that song about cocaine. He is... just one song? Hang on now. No, he has a couple songs about that. But he's doing a movie with Jenna Ortega and Barry Keoghan that comes out the same weekend as Final Destination Bloodlines, called Hurry Up Tomorrow. That has Jenna Ortega in it. We have Wednesday Season 2 coming out, I believe, later this year. She has Death of the Unicorn coming out, I think, at the end of this week. Again, so many, I can't even keep up. Jenna Ortega's in everything, dude. She's like, remember when Finn Wolfhard was in everything? That's how Jenna Ortega's career has been, like, since the 2020s began. I can't keep up. She's awesome, though. We love Jenna. Thomas Clark is with us saying, "Hola, Jake." Not sure if you saw, but Matthew Lillard said he may or may not be have his hands in blood in Scream 7, according to his Q&A this past weekend. I'm going to be talking about that in a little video tomorrow. There's been so much news today. I think I have to do a big group video at some point tomorrow. I'm probably going to cover the Final Destination trailer in one separate video, maybe do another video of just a bunch of the news, because there's so much to talk about. I can't keep up with it. Again, it's exciting. It's exciting stuff. That is definitely one I want to get into and talk a bit about and dissect. Again, I think this just fuels the idea that we're getting a flashback sequence at some point in the film, maybe not as an opening scene, but maybe as something to show us what actually happened during the night of Maureen Prescott's murder. I think that would make the most sense for his hands being covered in blood, when he was still alive. Mr. Reek is saying, last week watched Pumpkinhead 1, 2, and 3. Still have to watch the fourth one, but is it me, or is 2 retconned out of the other sequels? Mr. Rick, I actually don't know. I've only ever seen the first 2 Pumpkinheads. I've never seen the other films. I've heard that there's a new Pumpkinhead in the works, but we have gotten absolutely no update on that at all. So hopefully we'll learn something new about that one. Pumpkinhead is just crazy underrated. I never hear people talk about it. It's such a shame. I think it's just a great, like, cryptid story that deserves some more love. I don't know. I love it. It's a great October watch too. It's definitely one I put on every year around fall time. I got to put it on this year. It's so much fun. It's a little slow to get into, but man, once it kicks off, that thing is awesome. Creature featured vibes all the way through. I love it to death. Great film. Austin Allman saying justice for Tatum. A little late for that, huh? I feel like it's a little late for that. What's up, Austin? How's it going? And you know what, Austin, here's another thing that I just thought about with the release date change for Scream 7 that everyone's speculating on. Here's another reason why I just don't think that's going to happen. The 30-year anniversary is next year. That is, in 2026. Why would they change that? Why would they change it to 2025 when we believe, again, this is all just rumor, but I feel like it's probably true, that this film is going to focus on the 30-year anniversary of Maureen Prescott's death. I guess that would be this year. But in terms of the actual murders, what affected Sydney probably the most, it was obviously the murders that happened in 1996. 30 years later, here we are for the anniversary of the original film. Everyone knows the year 1996 when it comes to Scream, so I think they're going to release it next year. I just don't. I don't think a kids movie is going to harm a horror flick. It's just two different things, man. Two different kinds of franchises here. Austin Allman throwing out the first super chat. Thank you so much, Austin. Again, appreciate you. What was your favorite kill in the Final Destination novels? I personally love the Circuit City CD player death. Dude, there are so many of them. So if you guys have not seen my video today, first of all, go check it out. Honest to God, one of my favorite theory videos I have ever put up on this page. Had a ton of fun making it. I'm going to be real. I skimmed through a lot of them to learn a bit about a lot of the important stuff. Like we were talking about the 1888 house fire, which is a big thing that I feel like the movies are going to be talking about. I think there was a little bit of miscommunication in my video. Maybe I worded something weird. I don't believe that's going to be the opening scene here in Bloodlines. I have reason to believe that we're doing some sort of high-rise building thing, and I won't say anything more than that for the opening of 6. But I do believe we're going to reference a house fire that happened all the way back in 1888, which is the first time a premonition occurred in universe, which is from one of the Final Destination novels. Final Destination novel kills, though, that I would love to see put to screen is there is an entire group of cobras that take down, I believe, a couple of people in the novel Final Destination Destination Zero, which I read about. And I'm like, I need to see that on screen so bad. I need that film in my life like yesterday. That's crazy. Circuit City CD player death. I need to look more into this one. That did not come up in my research. I'll have to do some more digging there, my friend. I need to sit down and actually read some of these because I was really just doing some research based on a lot of the rumors we have heard about Final Destination Bloodlines. And the weirdest, honestly, how this whole thing kicked off is I was reading about how they're doing, long time ago, rumor came out that there's some sort of house fire that connects the events of all the movies. This was something we learned about, I want to say a year and a half ago, genuinely a long time ago, with some bigger updates for this film were kind of coming out. And I had heard that, and I'm like, that's weird. Why are they trying to connect everything together? And then I was looking into the novels where this literally happens. This house fire in the past literally happens, and there's so much more to it than just that. The character that survives has a family that it probably shouldn't exist. There's so many crazy theories and things revolving around it. I'm like, I have to talk about this. This is nuts. I did not know about this when all those rumors were going around. It makes so much more sense now, which is why I had to make today's video. But again, definitely one to check out. Don't just go off of the off-the-cuff response that I'm giving you right here. Watch that video. It's really solid. I need to learn more about this one, Austin. That is dope as fuck. You're saying the cobras. Yes! And also the CD player death is a slow dismemberment kill. Oh, do CDs cut off people's body parts? They're shot so fast at somebody? That's crazy. I love that. Oh, that's so Final Destination too. I love that one a lot. Austin, thank you for the 5. Really do appreciate your support. We are just that much closer to a smile giveaway. And Erica's throwing 2 out there saying only need 9 more super chats for a giveaway. There you go. We only need 8 more now. Look at that. Look at that. Erica, thank you for the support. Appreciate you a ton. Same to you, Austin. You guys rock. Who else is with us tonight? We have Variety called me a pariah. I don't even know what a pariah is. Saying everyone's wanting Stu alive, but I only see that happening if it's a direct legacy sequel to 96 with an even older cast. But what are the chances we play with continuity when they're still decent? Listen, if Tobin Bell can come back when he's 82, 83 to do Saw X, you sure as hell bet that Sidney Prescott's going to come back when she's 80 to play this character again. It's going to happen. I promise. This Scream 7 is not the last one, even though some think it is. I would personally, if you're going to do the Stu comes back thing, this is the only way to do it. Do a direct sequel to 96. Stu has been in prison maybe this entire time, and he escapes and he wants revenge. If you want to see that story that badly, just retcon the sequels. It would make it so much easier. People like me couldn't throw a fit because they did retcon all the sequels, and then they tell that story, and then an entire small group of the fan base is super happy. I'm so fine with that. Like, I would be fine if they wanted to do that story. They wanted to do like a separate Halloween 2018 style story where Stu comes back and he's been hanging out in prison this entire time. People want to see that so badly. Sure, fuck it. Matthew Lillard maybe will need a paycheck in 20 years. So sure, why not? We'll cover it on the page and everything. It'll be fun. But I agree, variety. I would much rather see that than just trying to make it work with the current continuity. I think that's insane. Allison Matichak is saying, I was lucky enough to have dinner with Linda Blair this weekend at Horror Hound. That's awesome. She's my friend's cousin, extremely sweet lady, and had some interesting thoughts about Exorcist Believer. I would imagine. I would imagine so, based on what Ellen Burstyn has said about the film as well. It's fascinating, to say the least. You want to talk about just getting a paycheck for a film. Wow. That's something else. But that is so cool that you had dinner with Linda Blair. She is, I hear, just a fantastic lady. I'm jealous. I'm so jealous. The Exorcist is one of my all-time favorite horror flicks. I think the very best religious horror we have. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see what Mike Flanagan does with this series, because we need another good sequel, man. Exorcist 3 is awesome. I love Exorcist 3, but we need more than we need another good sequel. Mike Flanagan, I think, can deliver. We'll just have to see, though. Coming up soon here, right? Red and Blue Studios is saying top 3 favorite 2020 horrors. Mine are Scream, The Substance, and Smile, all S's. Very nice, very nice. What are my top 3 favorite from the 2020s? That is so tough. There's been so many great horror movies I've covered just in the last 4 or 5 years. I think one that is just so near and dear to my heart is Infinity Pool. I fucking love that movie. Outrageously original. It's so intense from start to finish. It has a great sense of humor, yet it is also so disturbing. It has everything I want in a good horror flick, and it even has some crazy sci-fi elements that it throws around the table, essentially. So definitely Infinity Pool is up there. I can't argue with The Substance. That's a banger too. What would be number 3? Dude, this Ash was really good in theaters. I wouldn't call it best of the 2020s, but I really did like it. I don't think I would put that in my top 3. Ash is so good, though. Guys, go see Ash. Oh, it made me so excited. It made me stiffen the pants a bit. I got to stop saying that on YouTube live streams. That's gross. I'm really trying to think what would be number 3 here. You know, Smile 2 was crazy underrated. Terrifier 2. That would be my choice. We need a slasher in there. Terrifier 2 was so much fun. I love that film to death. Art the Clown has my heart entirely. Hart the Clown, one might call him. Who else is with us? Patton Jester is saying, where can I find these Final Destination novels? This is my first time hearing about them, and they sound absolutely awesome. Patton, there is a ton of them. Like, there's this Destination Zero one. There was another. What was the other? There was another one that sounded really cool, and I'm totally forgetting what it's called. I believe they were all published like around the time that the first couple of movies were coming out. This is crazy. So yeah, there's Dead Reckoning, Destination Zero, End of the Line, Dead Man's Hand. There's a ton of these, dude. I mean, like, I can't even believe how many of them there are. You can probably get them on like Amazon, or like if you want to listen to them somewhere, I'm sure they're on like Audible somewhere there. I'm just learning about them too. So if you're like, where have these been my whole life? I've been a fan of this franchise since I was just a young kid, being so terrified of the third film's commercial, I would run into the kitchen because it couldn't hurt me there. But I'll tell you what, I'm just finding out about these novels. I got to sit down and read them. They sound very fascinating. So definitely look into it. Pick one up. I want to know how good they are. Will I see the new Karate Kid? P.S. I'm learning Taekwondo, says Yo Beast Che. That is awesome, dude. Yeah, you know what? Yes, because I'm very nostalgic for the original Karate Kids. These were movies I watched a lot when I was growing up. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this one's all about. I hope it's good. You know, do I have a ton of faith in it? I don't know, but you know, I'm gonna see it. Ralph Macchio's back. Ton of great people. Jackie Chan is in this one. I don't know. I'm excited for it, but maybe that's just the nostalgia talking kind of thing. You know, honestly, the trailer was cool. Trailer was strong. I don't have any complaints. So We'll see. We'll see. I'm always wary about any sort of new franchise continuation to anything at this point because I've been just so disappointed by so many of them. It's hard to get excited about some of these movies that sometimes feel like they're just getting into the same old every single time. Kai Carlson is saying, I'm ready to check out this new Silent Hill movie. I'm glad I'm not the only one excited for that one. Love Silent Hill. You want to talk, listen, there's a lot of bad movies that I really like. And one of them is the Silent Hill sequel that I think has like a 6% on Rotten Tomatoes. I love this film. I have no reason to love it, but it is so much fun. I think I love it for the same reason that I love Annabelle Comes Home, another bad movie that is literally just you are walking through a haunted house is what both of these films are. It is essentially the haunted house version of these IPs, and I have a great time with them every single time. That Silent Hill movie, both of the Silent Hill movies, I think are just genuinely terrifying because the concept is so strong, man. Scary monsters running around this like town that's hard to access and shit. I love it. It's a really cool idea. So I really got to get more into the video games, but I am excited for this new movie coming out. We have a new Silent Hill and a new Resident Evil, man. Oh, video game fans are just eating this up, man. Tell you what, we're in a golden age for video game movies, let me tell you. When are you going to do another game? Watch Roll 1 from Sunday Night was funny. Repo, I got you. I really enjoyed it. Can't wait for the next one. Mr. Rick, we're getting on a more scheduled basis with the video game streams every Tuesday and Thursday now. We're going to do some sort of video game stream because I just can't get views on review videos unless it's something big. So I'm covering from now on moving forward. Sorry if you liked the review videos, but just no one watched them. So they're Patreon exclusive moving forward, unless it's something big like Final Destination 6. Trust me, I hate doing this. It breaks my heart, but my Opus review, which was like, I was kind of banking on that one getting some views, got 400 views, and that is well below the channel average. I should just put Scream in the title of everything I upload, and then I think I would get 1,000 more views on everything. That would be a lie though if I if I did that, so I'm not going to do that. That's just a joke. But I'm struggling to make this a horror page and not a Scream page. So reviews are going to be Patreon exclusive unless it's something big. That breaks my heart just as much as it does for some of you to hear it. Trust me, but what can I do? But yeah, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're just doing video game streams. So you guys will see review videos for things when I can see them on the weekends because I have to prioritize some streams. Got to get that gaming channel monetized as well. So please go subscribe to GullGotha. That would make my life very easy, much easier than it has been. So please help me out with that. Hit that little red button over on that page. Thank you. Austin Ullman is saying, I want a side character Ghostface Survivor support group. I love this. Like we saw in Saw 3D, think random cameos like the sorority girls in Scream 2, but that just vanished. Ooh. See, that's actually really interesting because I kind of love that in Saw 3D. It's, what's great about that scene in Saw 7 is that it showcases why the faults in Jigsaw's logic, right? His whole idea is that we're correcting people when we're making them better. But here's all these survivors from the past saying, this didn't make my life better at all. This actually fucked up my life entirely because I had to do this awful trap and cut off my arm or whatever horrible thing that happened to these people. And I think that's just so interesting. That's something that I love. So, I don't know. Saw 3D gets a lot of hate. I get it, but there's so much to love about that film at the same time. So I would love to see that in a new Scream movie. That could be cool. That we could again, that scene serves as a counter to a lot of the Jigsaw philosophy and ideology. Maybe you could do something with, what Ghostface means to that world, right? Could we kind of talk about that? These Ghostfaces think they're making a difference by trying to kill Sidney Prescott when really it's just harming more families, bringing more death to the world, not making anything better. I don't know. I feel like that could work. I feel like it's kind of the same scene, but it could work. I'm into it. I'm very into it. Yo Beast is asking if Scream 7 is still having a Christmas setting. No, I don't think so. We've seen leaves on the ground from a bunch of set photos. I believe it's going to have an October-November time period setting based on some of the stills that we've seen as well that have dates on them, like fictional dates in universe. I think that could be the case as well. So no, I don't think it's going to be a snowy Scream film. That would be awesome though. Tell you what, I thought that would have been cool. Killmore Horror and Gaming is saying saw Ash this weekend. Third act was cool, but it sucked. Brutal, dude. It's a slow burn. You gotta wait until things all add up. But I loved it. I can be patient with horror movies. Some people, that's just not the case. Some people are not fans of that. But I really liked that about Ash. It's a surprising slow burn because it comes from Flying Lotus, a guy who typically does much more shocking in your face kinds of stories. And we get this like slow burn mystery of what happened to this crew on the space station. And it's just really interesting. It was so different from what I was expecting from Flying Lotus. And I thought that was sick. I don't know. Personally, I loved Ash. It reminded me a lot of Alien and The Thing, but it definitely goes in different places. There's some non-linear storytelling there that I thought was interesting. I don't know, man. It's my favorite horror film of the year so far. So I personally had a great time with it. I could not recommend it enough. Ty Lee is saying at the end of the year, you should do a top 10 of the 2020s so far. We are technically halfway through the 2020s. I should make that video now. Honestly, I wouldn't mind doing that. I think that would be fun. That's a great suggestion, though, Ty. Definitely something that's been on my mind because there's been so many good horror. There's been so many great original horror movies this year that I know a lot of people just haven't given a chance to. It's been much more about, what's the next continuation? What's the next franchise movie? But dude, there has been, in the last 4 or 5 years, there has been some of the best original horror I have seen, and no one's pushing for it. No one cares. I don't know I genuinely don't know what happened. I think after the pandemic, people were just like, I don't want to go to the theater unless it's something I know is going to be good. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. That's me just speculating, spitballing off the top of my head. I'm going to the theater to see these great movies, and I'm sitting there alone. Like no one else is in the theater with me, and it's wild. I don't know. Nobody wants to give a chance to new original horror anymore, and it sucks because I think every month we get a great original horror film that I'm just raving about here all by my lonesome. It really is a shame. I'm never gonna get off the soapbox. The best horror movies happening nowadays are not franchise continuations. A hill I will die on. What is your most anticipated horror for 2025? Man, there's a lot of good stuff coming out this year. It's kind of tough to say. A lot of stuff I'm excited for. In terms of franchise continuations, though, probably Final Destination, Bloodlines, or 28 Years Later. Really excited for both of those. I'm so hyped. What was that? I'm trying to think of an original one because now I got to stand by what I was just talking about. I know there's a Backrooms movie in the works, which that's original, based off of a video game, I guess, but it still works. It's great. There's a lot of good stuff in the works. It's hard to pick just one thing, truly. I'm trying to think what else from 2025. I know I can only think of franchise continuations. Isn't that awful? Isn't that just genuinely awful? There's a new Shudder movie that I'm really excited for. Is it like The Forest Hills or something like that? That might be out already. Oh, Bloody Axe Wound. Dude, Bloody Axe Wound looks actually really fun. I have not seen it yet. You guys might have saw it over the weekend. I know it just came out on Friday. This is a new meta horror movie, which is exciting. It just dropped on Shudder. In the small town of Clover Falls, Abby Bladecut navigates the inheritance of her father's real-life slasher business. That sounds like it sounds very much so like what's the meta horror? The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Kind of sounds similar to that one. So I'm all about it. I'm all about that one. Very excited to see what it's all about. I am so behind in the chat, so let's catch up a little bit here. We got Piper Hollowell 21. What's up, fella? Strangers Chapter 2 releasing in September. It is coming out September 26th, ladies and gentlemen. I guess it's a big fall release. I guess. Who is still excited about the Strangers Chapter 2? I want to hear. I want to see a show of hands out there. I'm curious. Did the first one ruin it for you, or are you still excited to see what the sequel is all about? Let me know. And I see someone talking about Shelby Oaks coming out this year. I'm excited for that too. A newfound footage flick from Chris Stuckman. That should be fun. I've heard some. I know some things about that one I definitely shouldn't say, but. I've heard some good things. Wish Scream 7 had the Christmas setting still, so you can see the blood in the snow. I agree, Yo Beast. I agree entirely. Would love to see a snowy Scream film. Really, you like Ash more than Companion? Yes, I definitely liked Ash more than Companion. Companion was fun, but like Ash, I personally, just a personal preference, I like when my horror is like genuinely scary. Companion is a horror comedy. leaning heavily towards the comedy, and it was fun. I had a good time with it. I definitely had a fun. It was a fun watch. Would I pick that one up? Would I watch it again? Probably not. I had a good time with it. I thought there was some really good performances and some goofy moments, but ultimately it is kind of just like the comedy version of Ex Machina, and it's like, I don't know. Like I liked it. It's fun, but like Ex Machina, I think is just a superior film in most ways. It's not as funny as it's not as funny as Companion, but I don't know. I had a good time with it though. Not to disparage it. It's a very fun film. And it again, another film that I'm glad that so many people like. It's an original horror flick, right? So I'm glad that people did go out to the theaters and see that one. It's fun as hell. But Ash blew my mind. The third act of Ash was fucking awesome. So loved that film. Ty Lee is saying when it's hard to choose, just create an honorable mentions. I'm gonna need to do that, man. There's at least like 20, 30 horror films, I think, from the 2020s so far that have some sort of significance to them that are not attached to a franchise at all that I could just rave about. So I'm going to make that video eventually. I have a list. I have a really interesting list video I want to make sometime. I want to start doing, if I can like make one a week, I think that would be so much fun. So maybe I might get into that sometime soon. Chase is joining us. Moser Movie Reviews. What's up, dude? How's it going? Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. For Misery Gaming, this is so funny. It's because people don't buy Regal Unlimited or AMC A-List, so they are paying $18.50 a movie. You know what? Fort Misery Gaming is making a really good point here. This is not a sponsored Regal segment or anything, but if you pay like $18 a month to Regal, you can get like free movie tickets whenever you want. Listen, you could go once a month and pay $18, or you could do this and then just go whenever you want. I again, not sponsored by Regal, but like if you want to see these original movies and you're worried that it might not be worth your time, do this, and then it will at least be worth the money, right? So I don't know. I could not stress this enough. Fort Misery Gaming is so right. Get on one of those plans if you like movies, man. Philip Rivera is reminding us of Woman in the Yard is coming out from Blumhouse. This is a movie I feel like could go either way for me. I genuinely have no idea what to expect from this one. It's kind of a strong trailer, but I can see remnants of typical same old Blumhouse, which I think a lot of us are sick of. Fort Misery, it's $24 a month for you. It's $18 for me. That's so weird. Like I'm dead serious. Like when I get my statement every month from my bank account, it's like it's $18 from Regal. That sucks. It's 24. I wonder if that's like different for different areas or something. Weird. I didn't know about that. But anyway, sorry about the broken thought there. Woman in the Yard. I'm excited for it because of the cast and the creatives behind this one. But I genuinely have no idea what the quality of the film is going to be. It does give me just like imaginary vibes kind of from last year. It could be same old Blumhouse, but again, there's some promise. The director has made films such as like Orphan and The Shallows. What's the other one? House of Wax from 2005. I really like all three of those movies. This director doesn't really miss that often. And he just had a Netflix movie that was like highly regarded, very well received as well. I believe it was called Carry On. I never saw it. It was a new Netflix movie that had a lot of high praise to it. But Woman in the Yard, man, I don't know. It's one of those movies that could go either way. Definitely one I'm going to see probably opening weekend because I'm curious. I have to know what's going on there. We have some folks joining us. What's up, Samantha Robinson? How's it going? Yo, yo, yo. What's up, official MIGONTIV 2000? I don't know how to pronounce that, but hello. What's up, my friends? How are you guys? How you guys doing? Coop de Oof is with us saying, woke up from a nap to see Saw 11 is in fact not canceled, but then it hit me. It's totally going for a reboot now. Probably. Billy the Puppet has made an announcement. The little puppet himself. He's still employed, still making a brand new movie. We just don't know what's going on with it. So I feel like this is the producers saying, no, everything's going to be fine. We're still making a new movie, just not the film you thought it was going to be. Which, it's one of those things where I'm like, that sucks. I don't really want a Saw reboot personally. I feel like we have a really good story that's ongoing that we should continue. But I don't know if that's going to be the case. So we might be preparing for the worst with the Saw franchise, might be getting a brand new, a new film. But hey, all things in execution. We're going to wait to see what the news ends up being. I hope we get a real Saw 11 though. Anything is possible. What else is going on? If they do a Scream movie based in Christmas, Ghostface needs to say, "What's your favorite Christmas movie, Sid?" if they don't, I'll riot. So could it be like a? Is this going to be like a Christmas movie parody? Like, are we going to do meta commentary on Christmas movies? You could do commentary on like Christmas horror. I feel like there's a lot to say there that doesn't get talked about too often. I wouldn't be against that. I would be shocked if we never got a Scream movie that didn't talk about the Terrifier flicks. You know what I mean? If we don't get like an offline about, oh, Terrifier sucks or something. You know what I mean? I would be shocked. I would be genuinely shocked if we never got that. Erica's throwing out the link to GullGotha, by the way, the horror gaming channel. We are having so much fun playing Repo. I cannot stress this enough. There's a new game that's pretty popular, kind of going viral right now. It's called Repo. And you play as this like little robot who like goes into these like haunted mansions and different locations. There's one location that is super inspired by The Thing from 82, by the way, which is sick. And you just have to you have to steal stuff. You have to repossess things and sell it without getting caught by the ghosts that are lurking around. And I swear to God, that is the most fun I've had with a video game in a very long time. We are having a blast playing that. We will be playing it again on Tuesday and Thursday. This upcoming week, kind of, probably around the same time as we would usually stream here. So tomorrow at 7:00 Eastern time, we'll be doing that bad boy. So it'll be fun. And Erica is also reminding everybody we only need 8 more super chats and you boys doing a giveaway. And also I'll stream for like another hour or so. So make it happen. Let's see if we can do that. That would be sick. Killmore Horror and Gaming is saying Regal Unlimited is the best. I go see every movie, especially horror. It is amazing. Couldn't agree more. 100%. Red and Blue Studios is saying hot take. Smile 2's first act was repetitive. Maxine is so underrated, and Terrifier 2 is the best Terrifier film. Smile 2's first act was repetitive. I'm really trying to think what you mean by that. Repetitive. I thought that opening scene was something so unexpected from Smile. Like I'm just thinking about the opening scene for the other flick. And yeah, it was intense. It was fun, but it was a little slower. Smile 2's opening is like so high octane and just like punches you in the face pretty much. It's like, here we go. Red and Blue Studios, elaborate. I'm curious what you mean by that. Maxine is underrated. You know what? I don't disagree with this entirely. It has its problems, but I definitely don't hate it, man. I definitely don't hate Maxine. I think a lot of people came out of that one expecting something of the same quality as like Pearl and X, which are just like super excellent slasher films that I just had a great time with both of them. Maxine, I wouldn't call it the 10 out of 10 that those other movies are, but like it's still really solid. I'd maybe give it like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. Personally, maybe somewhere in between that, like a 7.5. I love Maxine is still fun, man. Some great characters, some great performances. It just kind of whiffs that third act, right? That's really my only complaint about it. But besides that, everything else is great. I don't know. That third act's a little rough, but that's really my only negative. And yeah, Terrifier 2, that's the best Terrifier film. It's close. Terrifier 3 is it's right there, man, but T2, it's my favorite all the way. It's got this scrappy feel, like we have to make a really good horror film. We have this small budget, but we're going to stretch it as far as we can to make something so awesome. I just don't feel that same way about Terrifier 3. It feels like we went from indie film to mainstream film across 2 movies. And that makes sense considering the popularity of the franchise, but T2 just has a scrappiness about it that I love and appreciate. It works so well with the tone, the mean-spirited tone of Terrifier that I feel like Terrifier 3 still has, but it's just different, right? That film clearly had a budget where Terrifier 2 did not. And I feel like that lended itself to the project overall. Eli Cortez is saying, hello. Yo, what's up, Eli? How's it going? What's up? I really hope that Saw 11 isn't canceled for long. I agree, Patton. It's, here's the other thing about Saw, man. It's too popular of a franchise to just go away. It's way too popular. They'll figure out something. It just might be a reboot, which would be a bummer, right? I don't think anybody wants a reboot in Saw. We want that story continued from where it left off. Samantha Robinson is saying, hey, Jake, I'm thinking of starting my own channel. Do it. Samantha, this is a great time to start a YouTube channel. I think it's easier than ever to start a new channel on this platform. So many resources and things that you're able to do and touch on in terms of topics. Do it. Run it up. It's a ton of fun. Fort Misery Gaming saw Snow White last night by myself just to see if it was bad with Regal Unlimited, because you could, right? Just because I have Unlimited, and going to see Death of a Unicorn Friday with Unlimited, you gotta love it. Fort Misery Gaming, that's so cool. Thank you for supporting movies in the theater. It would be crazy if like more people did that, you know? I'm just saying, you know? I'm just saying. Green Gaze is saying, nice beard. I wish I knew what you were talking about. This baby face can't grow hair to save a life. Austin Ullman is saying, how have we not had someone choke to death in a Final Destination movie? I'm really excited to see what that glass in the ice is about. Oh, me too. What a great tease that was today. If you guys missed this, they put out a little teaser trailer announcing that the trailer for Final Destination Bloodlines comes out tomorrow. All we got to see was a glass falls, breaks, falls into a container of ice, and someone scoops it up into a glass. Someone's drinking that glass, dude. It's looking rough. I can't wait to see whatever that ends up being. That's so exciting. Red and Blue Studios clarifying your Smile 2 criticism here, saying, I kind of meant first half. The 2 kills were great, but after that it got repetitive. I still need a better explanation. What do you mean in terms of repetitive? Like, did you not like do you not like the formula of Smile, where it's kind of like where we're kind of going through the ropes of here's the Smile demon doing its thing? I'm failing to understand, I guess. Because I don't know. My thing about Smile 2 was it really focuses much more on the deception element a lot more. It's still present in the first movie, but it just does not feel like it was fully realized until the sequel, which definitely makes that feel a little more fleshed out. I also feel like Smile 1 puts a lot, like for me, Smile 1 is a little more repetitive because it feels a little more like other horror films I've already seen, where we're going through the motions of, you know, here, we're looking up on Google, you know, what this thing is. Has anyone else experienced this before? And then it takes our character to the person in prison who she visits. I feel like we're kind of going through the ropes of like a typical mainstream horror in the original, where the sequel I feel like tries to do something a little weirder and may not work for everybody, but I personally really enjoyed it. I was pretty blown away by how that one wrapped up. But I'm curious, again, Red and Blue Studios, I don't necessarily know what you mean by repetitive. Is it the flow and feel of the plot? Is it the fact that we're kind of doing the same, I guess it's kind of like the same idea again, but with the pop star? I don't know. I guess I just don't, I'm not sure specifically what you mean. Sully Streams is saying, I actually think they caught lightning in a bottle with Saw X and re-energized the franchise, but don't know if they can replicate that again. But I also have very little faith in a reboot, so. I totally agree, and I think it comes down to the fact that they focused on an element to this franchise that has always been present, but never really shed a light on in the same way that Saw X does. I mean, you know, I'm thinking about all the movies that Josh Stolberg and Pete Goldfinger, they wrote. They wrote 3 films, Jigsaw, Spiral, and now this. Why did this one work and those other 2 did not? I feel like Jigsaw is all about, hey, we're coming up with a new apprentice to follow in the series to move forward with. And I get that. I understand that direction with Saw, especially with how we wrapped it up in the previous film. You know, we had an accomplice take over who, you know, I mean, Dr. Gordon, how many movies are going to get with Carrie Elwes being being an accomplice? I see why that would be a difficult film to make. So the direction in Jigsaw makes sense to me. But I'm more interested in Tobin Bell's character more than anybody. Or just one of the established accomplices that we do have. Like, had that film been more about, like, let's say, like Mark again, you know, like Hoffman, it had focused it on him one more time. Sure. Okay. That could be interesting. But ultimately, I don't know. I just wasn't loving that direction. Spiral, a lot of people didn't like that one because, again, it's kind of the same thing again. It's a whole new character, new Jigsaw person who wants to play the games with everybody, and people didn't really like that one. I think it was just because of the twist. For me, if you look past the twist being bad and obvious, I think that movie works really well. But besides that, I see the criticisms. Saw X works because we're focusing on humanizing this character who does these awful things. You know, who is this person behind these awful games? We've only ever seen him in the light of he's a crazy supervillain. What else is there to John Kramer, to Jigsaw? And I feel like that film spells it out in ways the franchise has never really done before, which makes it so special. Erica, I have not watched Art Attack yet. I'm getting into that though. I really want to make a Terrifier video soon, and I want to watch that before I get into it because I have a Terrifier video idea, but I want to cover some of the stuff present in that Art Attack thing as well. So soon. Coop did not like any of the X trilogy, ended up turning off Maxine halfway through and just watched a spoiler review. That's a bummer. Antonis is saying, will the glass and the ice blend in the ice in Final Destination 6? Considering this franchise's history, I don't think so. Red and Blue is saying, in the first half, felt like a less scary version of the first one. I will admit that I love the poppy energy, but I feel like I enjoyed the more held back energy in terms of Parker Finn's directing. Okay. So you felt like it was too in your face. It was too poppy. I hear you on that. I hear you. I think that's kind of what I liked about the sequel personally. Like I liked that over the top chaotic energy. It just makes it feel like it doesn't feel like it's just going through the ropes of this is a sequel. You know what I mean? We're going to make an entirely new film with whatever we do in the second movie here, which for me, that's what I really liked. I think one of the biggest criticisms I've seen of Smile 2 that I understand, but also I like about the film because of the anti-filmmaking elements of it is that a lot of what happens in that movie ends up being like, no, this actually didn't happen. Fuck you. That's kind of the energy of how that movie wraps up. And like me personally, as a big fan of Ari Aster films, who has done that on even higher degrees in terms of just hating your audience and giving them the middle finger, Smile 2 kind of does that as well. It's still a little more mainstream, like what you're talking about, but it has such a rebellious ending, it's such an anti-ending that I can see why people might have left with a sour taste in their mouth after watching that one. But I don't know. For me personally, a horror movie should be a little mean-spirited. I think that there's too much horror that is too kind to its to its protagonists. If I'm going into a horror film, I want to see some terror. I want to see some evil shit happening. That's just my thoughts, at least. You can have fun with horrible things happening to characters who sometimes deserve it. You know, I mean, I think if you really pay attention to a lot of the details in Smile 2, you realize that Sky Riley isn't really deserving of a lot of the things she's got going on. She has a checkered past, and it doesn't really, even if the Smile Demon thing wasn't there, she's still kind of not the greatest person, and maybe doesn't deserve this. Everything that's going on in her life. So again, it's one of those things where it's like, I get why we're punishing this character, maybe even more so than what we saw in the original. But I don't know. Personally, Smile 2, I just love it. It was a really fun one for me. And felt very inspired by some underappreciated films as well. Like Perfect Blue is totally an inspiration for that one. If you have not seen that film, couldn't recommend putting it on more. Grace Cicada is saying our Regal Unlimited here was also around 24. That's bizarre. Like I actually just looked at my statements like 2 days ago because I was just looking at I'm always keeping up to date with finances, and it's like $18 for Regal Unlimited. That blows, dude. 24 is a lot, but if you go to see two movies, that covers the price of admission still, even at 24, right? So you see three movies, that third one's free essentially. So I still think, for me, Regal Unlimited is so worth it. And again, this is not sponsored, which is, I wish I was, but Regal Unlimited, it's so worth it, especially if you're someone who's interested in seeing more original films and just maybe you just don't want to spend the money. Trust me, I understand times are tough, but that's a way to do it. That's a way to still be able to make it out to the theater and see all these weird movies. Samantha saying, Jake, I might join my boyfriend on his channel. Do it. Have fun. Talk movies or play video games. My girlfriend and I, we literally are running that gaming channel together right now, and it has been a blast. Those streams we've been doing on the weekend. I have not laughed so hard making content in such a long time. The repo stream we did this past weekend, the last like 10 minutes of it, I was in tears laughing. It was a great time. Such a good time. So definitely check it out. Because I'm an Uber fan, I just rewatched The Glass and the Ice clip, and it sounds like the glass is getting put in a blender, exploding blender. Maybe that could be the case too. Yeah, I want to see someone drink the glass personally, because I think that's fucked up. but hey, that can also work. So Am I seeing Death of a Unicorn? Yeah, that's likely going to be a Patreon review, but I definitely will check it out. Definitely gonna put that one on, or gonna go to the theater to see it soon. So I'm excited. Scott Royston is joining us. Thanks for being a member, Scott. Saying, hey, Jake, saw Strange Darling. You're right. Based off that, I could see them doing a new Texas Chainsaw movie. Right? Like, I think Strange Darling would be... It's such a great template for what a new Texas Chainsaw could be. Again, I don't even know if it's necessarily a slasher. It's almost got like psychological horror vibes to it. But I just think doing something like that with Texas Chainsaw could totally work. So Scott, yes, 100%. I wish I could talk more about it, but this is one that I feel like people have not seen that is so worth your time and such a great one to go into blind. I don't know. Strange Darling, another original horror film, by the way, which, are you sick of me saying that yet? I'm going to keep harping on it. That's so good, so worth your time. Easily one of the best horror films that I think has come out in the last couple of years. So good. Banger, so intense, so many great twists that I just did not see coming. I think Scream fans especially will really like that one. Red and Blue Studio saying, I've heard some theories about Smile 3 having an Asian main character defeating the entity because it's similar to Asian mythology. Thoughts? I don't know about any of that, but I have heard that production is getting moving on that one, which is exciting. And I am excited for a Smile 3. Parker Finn, last I heard, was doing an adaptation of Possession from 1981, which another weird standalone movie, but I don't know if I love that one or hate it. I'm so on the fence about that movie, but what I will say is that it's an interesting flick regardless, if you have not seen it. Parker Finn would definitely do a good job with it, considering what he's done with Smile. Similar in the way, like Smile 2 and Possession, I feel like are very similar with the, things not being as they seem element. So I can see why he was pegged to do that one. We brought it back. We have 3 minutes on those super chats, guys. No one is getting these Smile things. I'm just going to give them to my members. It's wild. It's wild out here. Allison Chain saying, watched The Grudge last night and couldn't help but laugh at certain points because of Scary Movie 4. Any speculation on what the Wayans brothers could cook up with their upcoming installment? I definitely feel like it's going to be hitting on like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer. If I were Scary Movie 6, I would totally target it towards things that people are more familiar with, which unfortunately just isn't a lot of original horror again. See how we're just bringing everything back to that? It is on my brain ever since we've heard that Hollywood executives are just not really considering marketing original just films anymore. Like they're just going all in on sequels and continuations. And that frustrates me so much, man. But anyways, what do I think Scary Movie 6 will hit on? Likely, the Scream franchise. I Know What You Did Last Summer, requels in general, maybe Longlegs because that one was really popular. I feel like even if you haven't seen that film, you still kind of know about it. You've seen some of the clips, some of the hits from it. Nosferatu, maybe one too that they touch on. Because I mean, dude, the bounce on it memes. If you know what I'm talking about, that shit's funny. I could totally see them doing like a horny Nosferatu running around in Scary Movie 6, which is so ridiculous to say. But there it is. It could be the case. What else is happening here? Awesome Destroyer, what is up, my friend? I'm just ready for T.O. Briones, or T.O. Brines, I'm not sure how that last name is pronounced, from Chucky to be in Final Destination 6. He played such a twisted villain in Chucky up until his end, and I know he will not disappoint. Hey, let's hope. That would be awesome. I'm excited to see what he brings in Final Destination 6, so... This movie, man, the marketing has really just changed my tone on this one. When they announced like this kid from Chucky was like the highest billed actor in this whole thing. And I'm just like, that sounds like it's going to be a low budget movie. I don't know. And it's one of those things where it's like, have we fallen from grace with Final Destination? Are we doing like something that's a little lower down the tier as something that has come in the past? I don't know. When we first got some of the announcements for this movie, but now it seems like, I don't know, all the marketing for this one, it just looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It looks like it's going to be a great continuation of this series. I'm hyped up. I'm hyped to be uncomfortable watching things be put into place. I can't wait. So we'll see. We'll see what this one's all about just in 7 weeks from Friday, which is exciting. Cannot wait for this one. I am over the moon about it. And again, we're counting down every week to Final Destination every Friday now. So stop on by the streams on Friday, which is going to be fun. It's going to be a good time talking about Final Destination, throwing some theories out there, talking some crazy bullshit. Who else is with us? We have Stupid Fizz saying, should I do a Final Destination marathon in preparation of the new movie coming out? I never really checked out the films before, and I'm not sure if they're that good. Well, Stupid Fizz, you know, what I'll say about that, half of them, I mean, I think most of them are good, but there are some misses. I think most commonly the fourth film is cited as a kind of a miss with franchise fans. I think it's got some good kills, but plot-wise, it's rough. 3 is one that I think like a lot of people don't like either, but I feel like is underrated. And 5 is one of the best, in my opinion, in terms of story. Even if the CGI in like the last 3 doesn't look great, but I still 5 is awesome, man. 5 is just it's a killer flick with a really good twist ending. But Stupid Fizz, I recommend watching all of them. I feel like this new movie is going to touch on every film that came before it. I even have a theory video out on it on the page right now. But I would absolutely watch all 5 of them before this new movie comes out. I'm going to try to review all 5 of them on this page as well in the coming next couple of months or so before the 6th film comes out. I want to start doing formal reviews on movies from the past like that. I've covered Scream for so long. I've never done a full review on any of the Scream movies besides 5 and 6. That's it. And I think that's a problem. So leading up to Scream 7, I am going to do big ol' Scream reviews sometime either next year or maybe before September of this one if Ghostface is scared of Cat in the Hat, but we'll see. We'll see what's up with that. Ridiculous. But yeah, definitely watch all 5 of the Final Destination movies. I think they're all fun in their own regards. 4 is rough, but man, the rest of them I think have a lot to offer. Austin Allman is saying, oh my God, I found a bootleg combo of Pieces and Maniac for sale at a local thrift store for like $30. I was like, what the fuck? That's awesome. Both really fun movies. Oh my God. I love those. Those are a ton of fun. The countdown is giving you anxiety. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough out here. Final Destination 6 is going to be scary. I can already tell I'm having anxiety from watching some of these teasers, which is sick. Final Destination, I feel like it's one of those franchises that like a lot of people will just chalk up to just typical whatever horror, but like there's some scary moments in those franchises, man, where it's like, oh shit, this could really happen. You know, that's freaky, man. This is a franchise that really gets to me. All things considered. Have you seen Clown in a Cornfield trailer? I have not. I actually haven't seen the new one. I did not have time today. It was crazy. I put out that Ash review this morning, and then I worked on that Final Destination video like all day. So I have not had time to check that one out. I've seen the original Clown in the Cornfield trailer. I know a new one came out today. Was there anything new? Let me know in the chat. I have not given it a watch quite yet. Fort Misery Gaming is saying 4 is definitely the worst from Final Destination. Yeah, probably. Weirdly enough, I think that's the first Final Destination I actually watched because I was too scared to watch the other ones when I was a kid. but 4 is one that I don't know, I have fond memories of, but every time I go back to it, I'm like, this is bad. I'm like this is rough, but I have a nostalgic glaze over that film for some reason. Just made it in, Jake. I'm intrigued with Friendo the Clown. Looking forward to that one in May. I'm always excited for new slashers, especially ones that come from a place of high praise. We know that the book series was praised very highly, Clown in a Cornfield. So I'm excited to see what the movie adaptation is all about. It's gotten some, pretty good reviews. Nothing like outstanding, like Together, an original horror movie, which I can't believe I couldn't think of this earlier when people were like, what's the most anticipated film from this year? This film Together, dude. This looks so good. That movie got rave reviews out of both of the early premieres that it had. It premiered at Sundance Film Festival and South by Southwest, and in both places just rave over the top, like this is so good reviews. So I'm really excited to see what that one's all about. So it didn't necessarily get like 10 out of 10 reviews from people, but a lot of people did say they had a very good time with it. Drew some comparisons to Thanksgiving, which I think even just from seeing the trailer, you can kind of tell it's a similar movie to that one for sure. But I'm excited. I'm definitely excited to see what this is all about. It's a new clown slasher, you know? Will he eventually go on to fight Art the Clown? We'll have to see. We'll see if Art can meet his rival here with Friendo. Awesome Destroyer is saying, for me, Final Destination wise, I think I love all of them equally and all for different reasons. So I think them as trying to hook people to watching them did a fantastic job. I think every single Final Destination has like at least one awesome kill. Like without a doubt. Like in every single one, there's some sort of kill where I'm like, that is so fucked up. That's amazing. So that's why it's a great franchise to binge. It's nothing where like it's totally out there. You know what I mean? It's not one of those franchises where it's just completely goes off the rails at a certain point. Pretty much every movie is the same formula that kind of, if you're looking for a nasty kill, you know, you're going to get that in every entry, even if some of the storylines may not be as strong as others. Do you remember what year Final Destination 6 was announced to be officially in the works? Asks Antonis. I believe it was 2020 because when it was first announced, it was said to be a commentary on first responders during the pandemic. But it has been reworked. I don't believe that is going to be the case at all with this new film, especially based on what we've seen of the film already and the new plot description, which does not sound like it's that film at all. I believe it's been reworked. That's why it took so long to get out. There was just a lot of stuff going on with the script, and they also didn't shoot this movie until spring of last year. So I believe it wrapped up in May of 2024, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was like late spring to early summer is when they were shooting this one. But yeah, it was 2020. Jeffrey Reddick, the franchise creator, had come out and said something along the lines of wanting to do like a COVID commentary. I don't know. You know, that movie was like, that would have been something had they gotten it out like in 2021 really early, maybe, you know, that would have worked. It would have been way too topical, perhaps. But I'm excited that they're going the route that they are going with 6. I think it's going to serve the franchise for the better, personally. Do you think we will get a second trailer to 28 Years Later? Absolutely. Once we get closer to it, I'm sure. That's coming out in June, right? If I'm not mistaken, like late June. Yeah, we'll probably. I think with Final Destination, we'll probably get a big trailer for that one. T. Tanza is asking, are you interested in the new Alien TV show, Alien Earth, which is supposed to be coming out soon? Yes, absolutely. I'm very excited for this one. Technically, it's the first time the aliens are on Earth, if you don't count the AVP movies. And I'm just excited to get into it, see whatever this one's about. The trailers have been really intriguing, have been really hyping me up for this one. And if it's anything similar to the quality of the new movie, I'm all about it. So I can't wait for Alien Earth. It's going to be a really fun story to explore and see the origins of Weyland-Yutani, how they got interested in even finding the xenomorph in the first place. Movie Mania Central is saying, any updates on I Know What You Did Last Summer? They just wrapped a little while ago, and the film still has release date of this summer. I'm kind of shocked, considering it just wrapped up and they have the movie coming out this summer. I'm kind of expecting a rushed product because I don't think they want to change the release date for that one. It literally has summer in the title. I got hiccups so bad. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I don't think that release date's changing. I'm expecting kind of a choppy product from I Know What You Did Last Summer, but we'll see. We'll see what it's all about. It feels like it's way too quick to be putting that one out after just wrapping filming. We only got a couple of months until it hits theaters. Like, what? Are you kidding me? That's crazy. So I feel like they're rushing this one a little bit. I would just delay it if I were them, if they need more time. Drizzy Fest is asking, any more interviews with directors coming to the channel? You really enjoy those types of videos. I'm really glad you do. I enjoy making them. I'm thinking about doing a video with some of the Screamboat people soon. So I was actually considering doing that and reaching out to them. I have a video coming out, a collaboration with somebody soon too, which is going to be fun. I think I had announced it on the page. I recently collaborated with Lauren Alina, who is kind of friends with some of the Terrifier folks, and just she's a model, a voice actress, and she loves horror movies. So we're doing another video together on Saw, which is like weirdly perfect timing with all this Saw news. So it's we're doing that video. I don't know when that's going to go up, but we're shooting that this week. So really excited for you guys to see that one as well. It's going to be fun. You got me in the mood to watch Final Destination 5 tonight, says Ty Lee. Very nice. I always love getting people in the mood. That's a vibe around here. Austin Allman is saying, I really hated the first responder angle because it would be too easy to kill them because first responders are always in danger. Yeah, I think that was the idea, right? You know, the idea that, well, they're always in danger. You know, we should appreciate these people more. So I get it. I definitely get the angle they were trying to strike there. But I think it just felt like too topical. I think there is such thing as being too in such a niche thing that might not be relatable in a couple of years. Like there's so many movies about the pandemic now that I just have no interest in watching again because it reminds you of a pretty awful time, you know? I think there is such thing as being too topical. I think you have to have you have to kind of strike a balance when you're doing a movie with commentary between, you know, the thing you're talking about from a certain time period and also being something that's a little timeless too. I mean, I think some of the best movies ever are timeless. So it's tough. It's tough to say, where exactly that balance lies, but it is important to strike that. I think Carter, what's up, Carter? How's it going? Hey, Jake, are you watching the new Final Destination 6 Bloodlines trailer yet? I will see it tomorrow when everyone else checks it out. I wish I could see it early. That would be sick. I would love to get that one early and have a video ready to go. But yes, I am so excited for Final Destination Bloodlines. I can't wait for this movie a bunch. I'm most highly anticipated, I think, going into May. Can't wait for this one. Great series, great new. It looks like a great new film. I hope it rocks. Blindside just watched the new Final Destination video. Wink, wink. Thanks for that, Blindside. Winks back to you. The tie-in theory of the Bloodline subtitle and your explanation makes so much sense. Just hope it doesn't suck. I agree. I 100% agree. I kind of feel like we're going to be tying together all of the stories with Final Destination. I feel like that's why we got the subtitle of Bloodlines. There's just too many things happening in other stories in this universe that makes me scratch my head and say I think they're definitely doing this thing right here. And again, check out today's video if you want a better explanation of what Blindside and I are talking about. But I think they're going to try to connect everything. It's going to be a big family thing that's happening. This family that shouldn't exist. And I'm interested. I'm intrigued by this. But again, we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes in the movie. I think it can work if they're going to set up more movies centered around it. Maybe that's the angle that they're trying to go, and maybe it works with audiences. But again, I feel like it's scarier to think that these premonitions can just happen to anybody before any big accident. That's way freakier in my mind. But also, maybe that's kind of the same ideology that we've been in with the last 5 movies. You know, maybe they're trying to spice it up, try to do something different. And there, I can't necessarily critique it as much as I do Scream, right? Because with Scream, most of your twist endings have to do with Sydney's family, right? And it's just like, okay, we're getting sick of that. Let's try something else. With Final Destination, I mean, technically, we haven't done that with every single movie. There have been little nods to other films, like Wendy is supposedly the cousin of Kimberly from the second movie, third movie to second movie connection there. And there are different tie-ins across all the different movies that have some level of consistency, but I never felt like Final Destination was always about a specific family, where I do with Scream. You know, it's apples and oranges, I feel like. So if they're going to try that here in 6, it's different than if, Scream 7 was to do another family angle, right? Because we're talking about a franchise that hasn't necessarily focused on that as much as this other franchise. So I don't hate the family thing in Final Destination. I do in Scream 7 because it's repetitive. With Final Destination, maybe it's trying something new out. I'm not just completely against family horror stories. You know what I mean? It's just, I feel like it's a dead horse that's just keeps getting beaten in Scream. So I'm hoping for something else from that franchise. In Final Destination, still feels fresh. Triple Glax is saying, I can't wait for T4, especially since they are going to be giving us a backstory on Art. Me too. I'm excited for some real updates on Terrifier 4. We got something to talk about from this week, so I'm definitely going to try to get a video out on that soon. But I'm hoping for the best with Terrifier 4, man. It sounds like it's going to be like the final film from Damien. Doesn't mean it's going to be the final Terrifier film. Let's be honest here. But I'm excited. I'm excited to find out what they got going on with this one. I hope it rocks. I hope it's brutal too. I really hope that we have a kill in Terrifier 4 that is the most brutal of the series, because that would be, what a great final note to go out on. You know what I mean? You top the kills previously. I honestly, here's my other thing too. about Terrifier. I think the only way you can top the kills from like 2 and 3 at this point is if you go like full on supernatural. Like we got to go supernatural, balls to the wall. We got to be like killing people, bringing them back to life and killing them again. Kind of crazy shit like that. I think that's totally fine in Terrifier because we've kicked open that door already. Like it is supernatural at this point. There's no denying that. And I would love to see something like that explored in this new one. Isaac is with us. What's up, my friend? Saying, been hearing from some of my sources very close to A24 that the Crystal Lake series is looking very long. That doesn't sound good. That's the only word he could come up to describe it is long, huh? A24 is supposedly thinking about turning it into a movie. Okay, I mean, that's interesting. Now, you know, if you don't call it Friday the 13th, I think technically you can still make that a movie, right? Isn't that what the legal jargon says about the Friday the 13th property? It's like you can still make Friday the 13th stuff, but you can't have Jason. You can't call it Friday the 13th, I think is what it's all about, which sucks. The company wants the project to be out by the end of this year. McKenna Grace, Jack Dylan Grazer, and Joey King are some options that they are exploring to play certain characters. Maybe camp counselors, perhaps. I could see that. And you're also saying, hoping for McKenna to play Alice. Could also see Joey playing Annie and Jack as Kevin Bacon's character. Just my opinion, but we'll see. You know, if you're going to tell a story about Pamela, I'm hoping for brand new characters, personally. You know, I hope it's like it takes place in the 60s, you know, like think the opening scene to Friday the 13th. I would love to see that, just see Pamela's downward spiral. Again, something I'm going to stress until we get a new Friday the 13th property or anything from this series. We need Jason on the big screen killing people as our return to the franchise. I'm telling you, this is going to get review bombed otherwise. And here's the thing, even if it's great, even if it's like fucking awesome, I still think that there's going to be a group of people, a vast group of people, in fact, who are going to say, we need Jason. I don't care about Pamela. I want to see Jason on the big screen killing people. And I don't want to say I'm one of those people too, but like, man, it's been since 2009 since we've seen Jason on screen killing people. That's what I want from the franchise first and foremost. I'm excited to get, you know, I'm an open-minded individual. I'm excited to see Pamela Voorhees' story kind of explored and show how that downward spiral went about. That's exciting. Maybe we'll even see Pam and Jason killing people together. That could be cool. I'm open-minded to this, but I think if they market it as this is a Pamela Voorhees show, that's it. Jason's a very, very, very small part of it. That to me is just like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you with that one, but we'll see. We'll see what it's all about. I hope it's good. And I hope it gets good press, man. I really do. If there's anything I want from the series, I want it to be successful so that we get more Jason properties moving forward. I think if this show does well, that tells me that there is still a want and a need for more Friday the 13th stuff. And man, there's never been a better time to bring back Jason and Freddy than right now. Slashers are popping, baby. I think we need a new Friday the 13th. We need a new Nightmare film, and then we need the Versus flick. If that can happen, I will be so fucking happy. My head will explode with excitement. Awesome Destroyer is saying, I heard in Final Destination 6, it was rumored that the person who gets the visions is going to do something no other person did. Do we know what this is yet? Critical Overlord said it, but what is it? I don't know too much about Final Destination 6 yet. I've heard some things through the grapevine, not the groupvine. I've heard some things. I think I have an idea of what the opening scene is going to be, and I feel like we're going to get a tease of it tomorrow. So that's kind of my one thing that I do know about. I could see whatever character getting the premonition in this flick going about it differently for sure. Because I think we are going to explore the backstory of why characters get premonitions in the first place. That is definitely something I'm pretty locked in with, considering some of the story beats and little things we already know about FD6 here. So could we find a new way to evade Final Destination and have our characters survive at the end? I think yes, because the studio wants. I genuinely think, just thinking from the studio's perspective here, I think that they want to tell a new trilogy, like a brand new story in this series. Final Destination is a franchise that has made a lot of money in most of its entries, even its bad ones. So I could totally see them wanting to make a new trilogy out of this. I am betting here right now that whoever our main character is survives this entry. We have a brand new survivor, just like in Final Destination 2. I say that because I think the people want... I think the studio wants people to get invested in new characters to follow across a new trilogy, which is, again, I think they're just trying to hit some same beats as something like Scream or Halloween, like their reboots. So is that a good direction for Final Destination? Personally, I would rather you just like make 3 separate movies from 3 separate directors and writers who just have an idea for a Final Destination movie. You know what I mean? That is always going to render a better product. And the Evil Dead franchise is just proof of it to me personally. There has not been a bad Evil Dead flick. There hasn't even been something close to a miss in that franchise for me personally. So I'm hoping that more studios will catch on to that, especially if Evil Dead Burn is successful and whatever the next Evil Dead flick is, which they better be successful, man. I'm honest to God, franchise continuation in terms of those, the one I'm the most excited for is Evil Dead Burn, without a doubt in my mind. Red and Blue Studios is saying Saw Trap idea. Someone is strapped into a guillotine and they need to scream loud enough for someone to get a key, similar to Saw 3D, but their mouth is sewn shut with stitches. Ooh, so they gotta rip through the stitches and just destroy their lips basically. That is so upsetting. that is so maybe they can see a passcode, and the other person can't or something. They have to type it into a lockbox and get a key out and it frees them. Ooh, that could be cool. I like that. That's a really good Saw Trap idea. If I could do a fan film for anything, I think I've said this before. There's 2 fan films I would love to make, an Evil Dead fan film, and I would love to make a Saw fan film, because literally all I would do is just put a person in a trap. Just show one entire, just one person, show who they are in real life, show why they're getting into a trap. That's all I would do. That's all I would do for a Saw fan film, but it would have to be a really good idea for a trap. Something like that. Something where it's ooh, that's freaky. Ugh. But I dig that. That's really fun. It's really fucked up, but it's really fun. Billy Boy is saying, hot take, Friday the 13th, 2009 remake is top 2. Ben Feldman, I'd be gay for. Wow. Hell yeah. Rock on. Rock on, Billy Boy. Shit. Man, I love Friday the 13th, 2009. It is certainly up there for me. I don't even, I think I've actually said before, I'm I could see that one being my favorite from the series. It's so much fun. I mean, it has some great kills. It's got some characters that, yes, I hate, but that's kind of just a staple of the series, man. I want to hate characters in the Friday the 13th series at this point. It's too much of a meme to go any other way. But I also think Derek Mears as Jason is such a highlight of that film. Portraying the character as a survivalist who's running around setting traps. That's so interesting. That's so different. It feels like it works for the character even more than original Jason, who's just kind of he's going to get there. He's going to get there eventually, but he's going to take his time. And he can also teleport in some of the later sequels, but don't worry about that. I think 2009 Friday the 13th, it's definitely one of the best put together films in the entire franchise, for sure. I wish the climax was a little better. It's maybe my biggest criticism of it. I just don't feel like it kind of just wraps up really quick. So I definitely wish there was more to that third act. Do you think the rat chapter from the American Psycho book should be in the remake? I'm going to be honest. I think that anything that wasn't in the original movie is likely going to be in this new film. I just thinking about Luca Guadagnino, what he did with Suspiria. You know what I mean? He did such a different take on that film. I mean, they are night and day between those two films. It's hard to even call it a remake. It absolutely is a reimagining, and I'm sure his take on American Psycho will be exactly that. I mean, I'm just thinking if I'm sitting where he is, you're remaking a movie that the public, at least the majority of the public, believes does not need a remake. What would I do if I'm put in that hot seat? I'm making an entirely different film, something that's incomparable to the 2000 flick. because you're not going to make a better version of that. You're not. I mean, Patrick Bateman is a horror icon from one movie, from one excellent performance. You're just not going to beat that, dude. So if I'm Luca, I'm trying to make an entirely different film, and that's why I think he honestly is a good choice to reimagine American Psycho, considering what he did with Suspiria. Love or hate that reimagining, remake, whatever. I'm kind of in the boat of I don't know if I love it or hate it. I'm kind of in the middle on it personally, but it certainly is something fresh and something different entirely. Which is why I respect it. And Suspiria 2018, if you're a fan of the original, you totally should see what the remake's all about, because it's so weird, it's so different. I really enjoy it. I don't know. You know what? I really love talking about it. let me say it that way. I love talking about Suspiria 2018, even though there's things about it that I don't like. There's things I like, there's things I don't like. It's a mixed bag, but it's cool. But it's certainly cool. You got to respect it. We have Tilda Swinton in a dual role, and she's just giving it her all. She's completely unrecognizable in one role too. You wouldn't even believe it was her if I pointed it out to you. It's crazy. I don't know. It's again, you could talk about Suspiria 2018 all day, but point being, Luca's a great choice for reimagining that concept, that IP, whatever. And it'll certainly be better than the fake sequel, American Psycho 2, which is a real thing and is so bad. I usually recommend like even bad movies to watch, because it's like, oh, well, they're interesting, they're part of this franchise, whatever. That's a skip. Like, that is a hard skip, dude. You do not need to see that film at all. Did I watch the behind the scenes of Terrifier 3 yet? If you're talking about the behind the scenes on the physical copy. Yeah, no, I have watched some of that. I have not seen the Art Attack documentary that I hear dives deeper into that. I really need to see that, though. I might actually watch that tonight if I have some time. Austin Ullman is saying, I have the hottest take, Rob Zombie Friday the 13th. That could be cool. I don't hate that at all. If there's any place you can improve with Friday the 13th, it's have more brutal kills, because a lot of those early entries got cut down by the MPAA, now MPA. It's so, I got to clarify that every time because it's so weird. But yeah, I really think Rob Zombie would bring that energy. That's another reason why I think Damien Leone would be a great choice for Friday the 13th, because again, if there's the only thing I want from Friday the 13th, like I'll see this Pamela Crystal Lake show. That's exciting. But if there's anything that I need from a new Friday the 13th, it's more brutal kills. It's Jason hacking people up in vicious ways. I think that's another reason why I loved In a Violent Nature so much, is because we got to see a fake Jason, right? Johnny, essentially go and kill people in more brutal ways than Jason Voorhees has ever imagined. And that's not the fault of the filmmakers of any of the other Friday the 13th movies. It's just the fact that they got cut down so much in the 80s and even in the 90s in some instances. So it's one of those situations where it's like, man, this is brutal. this is so brutal, man. But I'd love to see Jason get like something above an R rating, something similar to a Terrifier film, and just be scoring some of his best kills ever. So, I mean, you know, it's crazy to say that one of the best Jason Voorhees kills is in Jason X, where he freezes someone's face and smashes it against the counter and it explodes into blood. That is awesome. But it's like it took 10 movies to get there. You know, I mean, there's some good kills in the other movies, don't get me wrong, but just nothing super, explicit like how we've seen in some of these more modern slashers. So I would love to see Jason finally get like a full movie of just brutal, unrated kills that you just are undeniable, just absolutely amazing, like what we've seen in some of the more recent stuff that we've gotten. What else is going on? Did you hear the crazy news on how Skeet Ulrich is going to be playing Henry Emily in Five Nights at Freddy's 2? Yes. I can't believe he is working with Matthew Lillard again as his partner. Yeah, they're kind of in reverse roles this time around, which I think is so cool about Five Nights at Freddy's. I did a little research on Henry Emily and how that character plays into the FNAF lore. And it's interesting. So it's kind of a reversal of what we know about Billy and Stu. Billy's kind of the guy that's bossing Stu around. It's kind of the opposite in Five Nights at Freddy's. Stu is kind of the guy that fucks over Henry Emily, essentially, which again, I can't wait to see that explored and just that reversal relationship with these two actors who have a huge history together. I really can't wait to see that. That has me way more excited for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I'm really hyped. That's the end of the year. That's December. Mason Snelson, I mean, is saying, how would people feel if they capitalized on the multiverse and created the horrorverse? All horror in one world or universe, Woodsboro, Haddonfield, Elm Street. It sounds like a Wright's nightmare, but I'm sure if they made something like that, it would make a gajillion dollars, and you could have a horrorverse endgame where everyone comes through portals and starts fighting each other. But hey, man, gajillion dollars. Antonis is saying, I did not know that Art Attack was out already. I have to watch it. Where is it streaming? It's only on Screambox. It is only on Screambox there. But definitely something I'm dying to watch. Behind the scenes documentary on the making of the third film. Marley Kai is saying, Jake, did you hear that Cloverfield 4 is still in production? Yes, I'm really excited for this one. A sequel to the original, like an actual found footage film that continues what the first one started. The other two movies in that franchise kind of do their own thing, and they're fun. I really like them. At least the first sequel, maybe not so much the second one, but the first sequel is sick. But it's a great standalone, is how I look at it. I'm excited for another found footage movie though, which continues that same idea of just big kaiju monsters running around killing people. That is exciting. I'm really excited to see what they end up doing with that next one. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to peace out because I am tired and I still got some work to do. We have some gaming channel stuff going up tomorrow over on GullGotha, so please make sure to subscribe. We are trying to hit 1,000 subs over there, so go on and check it out. We got a big old repo video coming out tomorrow, and also another repo stream tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We will be live over there in less than 24 hours, so stop on by, play some games with us. It'll be brutal, and I can promise that Madison and I will be screaming at each other the entire time. Also, we'll be live again on this page on Wednesday for members only, a little members only chat. It's going to be fun. And then on Friday, we're counting down the weeks to Final Destination Bloodlines, baby. I cannot wait. Oh, can't wait for that one. 7 weeks from Friday, baby. So stop on by for all of those streams. Whole bunch of stuff happening every single night at 7 p.m. across all my different channels. Thank you guys for watching. As always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all, and stay safe. Peace.